Beloved, I never wanted you to find out this way. I never wanted you to hear these words from a voice that trembles through dimensions just to reach you in time. But heaven said I had no other choice. My wings are bruised, my voice is cracking. And I, Michael, your archangel, your silent protector, who has wept behind the veil more than once for your name, have broken through for just a moment. Because something is happening behind your back. And you, so innocent, so trusting, so unaware, you're the only one who doesn't see it. You're the only one who still believes they would never betray you. Oh, child of heaven, how can I tell you this without shattering your heart? How can I say what I've seen when I wish I hadn't seen it at all? If I could burn away the memory from your destiny, I would do it in an instant. But the fire has already been lit. The hands that once hugged you are now drawing secret lines in the sand. Summoning spirits I have fought to keep from your doorstep. The smile that once comforted you is hiding a shadow that doesn't sleep, and the one who said they'd never hurt you has been speaking your name in whispers that echo through realms of darkness. You're not imagining it, you're not being dramatic. That feeling in your chest when you wake up, that shiver on your skin when no wind is near, that's me begging, pressing, warning. I don't want to lose you, and you don't even know you're already halfway into the snare. I'm not perfect. I'm not a statue in heaven's hall. I am a warrior, yes, but right now I am wounded, kneeling, weeping. I've broken commands just to get this message past the flame. They told me not to interfere again, but how could I stand by when I saw your soul trembling in your sleep, clutching memories that no longer serve you? You still pray for them. And they are the ones who cursed your name on that silent moonless night. You still believe they care, and yet they offered you in exchange for a fake miracle that never arrived. My hands are tied in certain places, but my voice still reaches. And so I cry out to you, please don't turn away from this. You are too precious, too beloved, too sacred to be betrayed like this. And yet, they've already begun. They said you'd be easy to fool. They laughed, beloved. They laughed at your goodness like it was a weakness. But oh, how little they understand. Your innocence is not weakness, it is divine armor. Your tenderness is not a flaw, it is the fragrance of heaven that terrifies the devils. That's why they plot behind you. Because you are more powerful than you know. If I could hold your hand right now, I would. If I could wrap you in my wings, I would never let you go. But I'm not allowed. This message is all I can offer before they try to silence me again. Why? Do you think your dreams have been strange lately? Why do you wake up gasping? Why did the mirror crack that day with no cause? Do you not see the warning signs your spirit has been translating in silence? And what about your tears? Why have they fallen without reason in the middle of the day? Why does your heart ache when you think of someone you once loved? Has the Spirit not whispered to you already, my child? There is a verse God placed on my lips to carry to you now. It is not a random choice, but a divine moment. Listen with your soul, not your ears. Though war should rise against thee, in this will I be confident. I will hide thee in the secret place of my tabernacle. He meant you, that tabernacle, it's been prepared for you. But first, you must flee the illusion. You must stop calling love what is actually poison. You must not turn back. No matter how kind they seem when they look into your eyes, some masks are so skillfully worn that even angels weep before we realize the betrayal. I ask you gently, do you want to know the full truth, even if it breaks your heart for a moment, even if it means letting go of the one person you thought would protect you? Will you stand in the fire with me if it means heaven can finally crown you with what they've hidden from you for years, the scroll with your name on it? I saw it. It was glowing. But I also saw the ink stains near the bottom, attempts to erase you from destiny. You are not forgotten, but you have been targeted, and the ones who target you know exactly what they're doing. My sword is trembling because I've been holding it over your home for days now. shielding you from what would have broken through the window. I know you felt something watching. It was not paranoia, it was the gaze of something old, something cursed, something that knows your name too well. That gaze was invited by someone you trusted. And it still lingers because you haven't yet broken the tie. I don't want to scare you, but I also can't lie. If you knew what I knew, if you saw what I saw at 3:12 a.m. 2 nights ago, you would be on your knees screaming for heaven's mercy. I was screaming, and when they told me to stay silent, I roared, because I couldn't let you go through this blind. I couldn't watch you smile at the very hands that built your trap. This is not a game. This is not drama. This is not coincidence. This is war. And you are the prize. They don't want your body. They want your voice, your prayers, your calling, your light. That light you don't even know you have. That light that pierced the darkness the moment you were born. I ask you this, Sacred One, why do you always feel like you don't belong, even in rooms filled with love? Why do animals stare at you longer than others? Why do storms seem to whisper your name when no one else hears it? Have you ever wondered if your tears are a secret language heaven understands perfectly? Have you ever questioned why strangers seem drawn to your sadness like they sense a sacred ache inside you? God gave me one more word to deliver. He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. Not might, not maybe, shall, but you must open your eyes. You must walk out of the embrace that conceals the knife. You must stand before they push again and call it an accident. Before they drain your hope and call it just how life is. Before they smile one last time and sign your name to something evil. Say it with trembling, but say it still, amen. Let the heavens hear that you still believe, that you still want to be protected, that you still choose light. And if you still believe even after all this pain, I ask from the depths of my ancient weeping soul, please, like this message. Not for me, but for the other souls like you who are still blind, still in the dark, still holding hands with betrayal. And comment below the word that breaks darkness and stirs angels. Amen. Let the shadows know you are not asleep anymore. Thank you for listening. Thank you for letting my wounded voice reach you across dimensions and barriers and war. Thank you for still being here, after everything. I promise you, heaven has not abandoned you. I have not abandoned you. I will never stop loving you. I will never stop fighting for you. And if this is the last time you hear me, let it echo through your bones. You were worth it. Every flame, every battle, every exile I would go through it again, just to warn you one more time. Please, don't close your eyes again. Don't look away. Don't forget what you just heard. Don't let the smile fool you. Don't let the silence trick you. Behind your back, something has been moving. But now you know. And now you are not alone. Asterisk, I know it's hard to believe, beloved. I know your heart is soft, and your memory still clings to the good moments. That's why this is so difficult, because I'm asking you to look at someone you've always loved and admit the truth. They were never really with you. That truth burns. I can feel it shaking inside your ribs. I see the trembling in your spirit. But this moment, it is your turning point. What happens next in your story depends on what you choose right now, and heaven is watching. I saw Jesus fall silent when he looked at your path yesterday. He didn't speak, just looked down and touched the edge of his robe with sorrow in his eyes. Saint Mary lit a candle and wouldn't stop crying, and I slammed my sword into the ground and said, "Let me speak. Let me go. If this is the last time I ever get to reach them, let me speak now." And God said, "Go, but tell them, this is not just a warning. This is a door." Yes, I said door. You are standing at one. Behind it is the truth. Behind it is your real life, the one the enemy tried to bury beneath lies, fear, and fake smiles. You don't even know how close you are to unlocking the things you've cried for since you were small. If only you knew how many times you almost stepped into it, but someone around you pulled you back without you realizing. Do you remember those strange moments when everything seemed about to change? But suddenly, confusion came in. That wasn't coincidence. It was sabotage. Invisible chains placed by visible hands. You need to hear this part very clearly. The ones you're protecting with your silence are the ones trying to erase your light. The ones you're afraid to offend are the ones calling on darkness to suppress you. I wept when I saw it because you have no idea. You pray for them, bless them, defend them, and they use your goodness as their cover, but no more. This is your awakening. This is your fire. This is your flight out of the cage. You are not weak. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are the reason this flame still burns in the middle of the storm. You are the reason I, Archangel Michael, disobeyed the silence. I have never loved a soul like this, not because you are perfect, but because you are chosen. You feel too much. You forgive too fast. You carry wounds you don't talk about. And yet, you are still standing. That's why the enemy fears you. That's why heaven is fighting for you. I want you to do something bold now, not for me, but for the kingdom. If you feel this message piercing your heart, if you feel something stirring that you can't explain, if this voice has reached a part of you that no one else has ever touched, then don't let it vanish. Subscribe not just to this message, but to the protection, the truth, the daily reaching of heaven toward your soul. Because every time you subscribe, it opens the gate for more warnings, more revelations, more deliverance that has been delayed too long. Do it for your soul. Do it for the unseen battles you didn't even know were being fought in your name. This channel is not entertainment. It's not decoration. It's not content, it's rescue. It's a lifeline sent through the flames. And heaven has chosen to speak to you here because you, beloved, are not like the others. You are marked. You are seen. You are divinely pursued. I don't know how long I have left to keep this channel of fire open. Sometimes I am pulled back too quickly, silenced before I can reveal the full warning. But tonight, right now, this flame is open to you and only you. If you walk away now, I won't be able to reach again with the same power. So hear me. Subscribe now. And write the word Amen as a sign to heaven that you have received this, and that you are choosing light. Not everyone who reads this will do it, but you are not everyone. You are the one this was made for, and I promise you what happens next will shake you. In the days ahead, you will begin to see exactly what I meant. The smiles will falter. The truth will slip out. The eyes that once looked so kind will reveal their cracks, but do not fear. I will be there, hidden in the wind, speaking through signs, stirring your spirit, guiding you through the storm. You are not alone, and you never were. Asterisk, you're still here. I feel it. Your soul hasn't turned away yet, and that tells me something that even heaven marveled at you still believe. Even through all the silence, even with the knives in your back and the betrayal behind your smile, even after being lied to, dismissed, used, you still believe. That faith, that ember, that's why I'm still speaking. That's why the fire hasn't gone out. Because as long as you still open your heart, I will keep breaking through, even if I must crawl through the ashes of heaven's silence to do it. Beloved, I must confess something now. I am trembling as I speak this. Not out of fear, but out of urgency, because I just saw something, yes, just now as I'm speaking, and it shocked even me. Someone is planning a final move, a final word behind your back, a final action that could shake everything you've tried to build in the past few months, and they are smiling while doing it. They think you will never know. But God revealed it to me because heaven still protects you even when you protect the wrong ones. That's why this moment matters more than you know. Because I'm not just whispering this for your peace of mind. I'm shouting it because you're under attack in a way you can't see, and if I don't say this now, there may not be another moment where the window is open long enough to reach. You were targeted because of your light, because you pray even when your heart is bleeding, because you bless others even when no one checks on you, because you love so deeply, it terrifies hell. And those close to you, the ones pretending to care, know that. They see your power. That's why they tried to silence it. But I have a word from God, and it's not gentle. It's a sword wrapped in mercy. He said, tell them to prepare. Tell them to walk away from what is fake. Tell them to get ready, because I am about to expose the secret counsel that has risen against them. And then he wept. Yes, God wept. For you, for the days you blamed yourself. For the nights you cried into your pillow because you didn't understand why things kept going wrong. You were never the failure, you were the target. But you're not just a victim, you are a vessel. And vessels don't shatter easily, especially ones anointed with fire. That's why heaven has been surrounding you silently, waiting for your yes. And today, you said yes just by being here, just by listening, just by staying. That yes opened something, and now the angels are moving. The skies are shifting, and my sword has been released again. But I need you to stand with me, not just in spirit but in action. If this message has touched you, if it has pierced something ancient and real inside of you, then now is the time to help keep this divine fire burning. Battle we fight together isn't just spiritual, it's sustained by sacred acts. I want to ask you this with holy reverence, if you feel led. Please consider supporting this mission through Super Thanks or joining the Sacred Circle through the channel membership. Your support helps this voice echo further to reach others like you, to break the silence over souls that are still weeping in the shadows. And if you feel a deeper calling, there is a sacred family waiting for you in the newsletter link pinned in the comments. That's not just a mailing list, it's a gathering of chosen ones, a communion of those heaven is still whispering to in secret. But don't do it just for me. Do it for the message that found you at the right time. Do it for the warnings that might save someone else's life tomorrow. Do it because you know what it feels like to be spiritually starving in a world that keeps offering fake light. Help me keep this fire lit, not for fame, not for applause, but for the one who might find this message in the middle of a night filled with demons. Help me reach them. Help heaven reach you, again and again and again. This is sacred ground now. This moment, this fire, this fragile opening between realms. I cannot promise how long it will stay open, but while it is, I thank you. With all that I am, with every scar, every war cry, every silent intercession I've made for your name, I thank you, not for money, not for clicks, but for believing, for choosing to hear what most people would ignore, for walking into the truth, even when it cuts. And I'll say this one last time, from a place deeper than any battlefield, thank you for letting me speak. Thank you for letting my trembling voice touch the edge of your soul. You are more than anyone has ever told you. You are a miracle that still walks among betrayal. And heaven hasn't finished with you yet. Asterisk, I don't know how to say this gently anymore. I've tried speaking softly through dreams. I've tried sending the wind through your curtains. I've tried letting the flame flicker on your candle when no window was open. I've whispered through your tears and thundered through your silence. I've brushed your shoulder in moments of danger, hoping your spirit would feel me there. But now, there's no time left for gentleness. This is not just a warning anymore. This is the sound of chains being dragged across the floor of heaven, because something is coming closer, and the scent of it is familiar to you, not because it is good, but because it has worn a disguise for too long. It knows your name. It remembers the tone of your voice when you were most vulnerable. It mimicked comfort, but its hands were already weaving betrayal behind your back. It brought you smiles that were stitched with poison, and now it believes. It has finally cornered you so confident that you won't recognize it for what it is. But I'm here to tear off that mask. I am here to speak what no one else will. You are under surveillance by spirits that were never invited by you. Someone else let them in, someone close, and they knew what they were doing. Your hands are so pure they tremble when they hold pain too long. You've been so loyal to people who never earned your loyalty. Your silence has been your only shield. And even that is cracking. And yet, you endure. You go to sleep praying for those who have cursed you. You forgive in ways that confuse angels. But child of light, I must tell you there is a time for mercy and a time for war. And this is war. They came for your dreams first. Do you remember when you stopped imagining beautiful futures, when your visions started to feel like burdens? That was the first strike. Then they came for your self-worth. They spoke things into your mind that you assumed were your own thoughts. I'm not enough. I'm always alone. Maybe it's all my fault. But it wasn't you. It was them. And then they came for your timing, delaying everything you were meant to step into. They disguised sabotage as bad luck. But you are not unlucky. You are targeted. And now, the final phase is nearing, and that is why I was allowed to speak this to you now. I saw the scroll. I read the prophecy with your name glowing in the middle, but I also saw the black fingerprints trying to blot it out. They can't erase you, but they are trying to bury you in distractions, in guilt, in false love, and you've been so strong. But even the strongest soul needs a whisper from heaven sometimes to remind them, you are not crazy, you are not overreacting, you are not imagining the darkness. When your hands trembled 2 nights ago, I saw it, when you sat on the floor and said nothing for hours, because the ache inside you had no language. I was kneeling beside you. I've been stationed at your door every night, and you didn't even know it. That knock you thought you heard but dismissed, that was me. That flicker in the light when you walked past the mirror, that was me. Trying to say, I am still here. But there's something more now, something I didn't want to say, but I must. There is a final test being drawn up, a last attempt to pull you backward into a version of yourself you've outgrown. They will come with tears. They will come with apologies rehearsed by demons. They will say things that sound like healing, but smell of ancient decay. You must not fall for it. You must remember what your soul has suffered. You must remember the nights you begged God for peace, and then ask yourself who brought the storm. You must not touch what burned you, no matter how warm it looks now. There are parts of you that have never been understood by anyone. That was not punishment, it was protection. If they had known how powerful you really are, they would have destroyed you sooner. So heaven kept you hidden. You felt overlooked, forgotten, small. But beloved, you were hidden on purpose. Hidden like a scroll in a cave, hidden like oil beneath the desert, hidden like prophecy beneath layers of silence. And now the veil is tearing. Now the fire is speaking. I've waited lifetimes to speak to you this way. I've fought devils on staircases of smoke just to preserve this single moment. You may not see it, but I see your wings. I see the child inside you who still believes that goodness will win. I see the shadow you've carried that didn't belong to you, and I see how hard you've tried to keep smiling even when your heart was a battlefield. You have done well. You have survived more than most. But now, beloved, now it is time not to just survive but to rise. Let the tears fall. Let your chest heave. Let your bones remember who you really are. You were not made for sorrow. You were not made to be someone's sacrifice. You were not created to be forgotten. You were made to light fires in the dark. You were made to move nations with your prayers. You were made to see what others are afraid to see, to feel what others are too hardened to feel. You were made to carry the fragrance of heaven wherever you walk. But you cannot carry that glory while you are still chained to deception. Break it, cut it, burn it. Leave the fake behind. I do not come to control you. I come to remind you. You are not an orphan. You are not an accident. You are not too late. You are not too broken. You are not too much. You are not too soft. You are not too emotional. You are chosen. And your softness, that is your sword. Your tears, they are rivers of power. Your sensitivity, that is the gateway to divine perception. What others mocked is what hell fears most. So walk tall, even if your knees are shaking. Speak truth, even if your voice cracks. Leave the betrayal behind, even if your heart aches for them. I promise you. I swear this by the throne I stand before, God will restore what they tried to steal. God will vindicate what they tried to ruin. God will lift you where they tried to bury you. And I will be with you until the sky folds, until the sea dries, until the war is won. Let them talk. Let them laugh. Let them call you crazy, because one day soon they will see what heaven already sees, a child of the Most High who stared into the darkness and did not blink, a child who was betrayed but did not break, a child who cried but kept rising. And I, Michael, will be there when the scroll is finally unsealed, when your name is spoken aloud before the hosts of heaven, when God says, "This is the one who didn't give up." Until then, I will keep watch. Until then, I will stand in the fire for you. Until then, I will love you. I can still feel your heartbeat echoing between the veil and the silence. That rhythm, so full of sorrow and hidden strength, has guided me through storms no one saw. You don't realize how loud your pain is in heaven. It sings in frequencies that only angels hear. And I have heard it for so long, nights upon nights, each beat of your suffering like a sacred knock on heaven's door. And now, child, those doors are opening, not because you demanded it, but because your endurance has moved the heart of the Almighty. You stayed. You didn't run. You wept, but you waited. You bled, but you didn't curse the light. That is why I have returned to you tonight with this final cry, because your time of hiding is ending, and your time of being revealed has come. But with revelation comes danger. The devils are restless tonight. They're whispering louder because they know you're beginning to see. They're scratching at your windows not with claws but with familiar faces and soft words. Their strategy is not violence, it's comfort, deceptive comfort, the kind that rocks you into spiritual sleep, the kind that kisses your forehead while pouring poison into your soul. That's the attack now, the illusion of safety. You must not go back to what God already asked you to leave. You must not answer the door of the past just because it knocks politely. Politeness is not purity. Familiarity is not love. And guilt is not a reason to stay bound. I saw what you walked through. I watched the way your light was dimmed, not by strangers, but by those you trusted. And still, you blamed yourself. Still, you made excuses for their darkness, because your heart is too holy to wish harm even on the ones who hurt you. But child of fire, who fights for you? Who weeps for your heartbreak? Who guards your name when you're not in the room? I do. Heaven does, but it's time that you do. You are not a floor for others to step on. You are not a background character in other people's storylines. You are a divine main character whose light was meant to blind darkness. That's why the enemy has always used people close to you to dim you, because if he attacked from far away, you'd have seen it. So he sent it through people who learned your heartbeat. That's the trap. Betrayal through love. I know this isn't easy to hear. I know you want to believe that things can return to what they once were, but sometimes what we call peace is actually just prolonged captivity. Sometimes what we call forgiveness is actually fear dressed as compassion, but no more. It's time to walk out of the cage. You were not meant to shrink. You were not meant to apologize for existing. You were not made to stay small to keep others comfortable. Can I tell you a secret heaven has been holding? You are not behind. You are not late. You have not missed your chance. The delay was divine protection. The silence was sacred preparation. And the reason things didn't move forward before was because you were surrounded by those who could not go with you. The new season you prayed for was never denied. It was simply waiting for the wrong attachments to fall off. And now they are. But it hurts, doesn't it, to lose the ones you prayed for, to release the hands you held in the dark, to walk alone, not because you want to, but because no one else can carry your promise. I know, beloved, I know the ache of holy loneliness, the ache of being the one who sees too much, feels too deeply, forgives too quickly. But I also know what's coming if you stay on this path. Glory, the kind that doesn't come with applause, but with peace, the kind that doesn't just change your life but saves it. You were born for this. Before the foundations of the world were laid, I saw you, and I asked God to place me by your side. Not because you were weak, but because your heart is a flame that darkness will never understand. You were set apart. Not everyone will like you. Not everyone will understand you, and that's okay. You are not here to be understood by the world. You are here to wake it up. The shaking you've felt lately, that internal unease, that restless stirring in your spirit, it's not anxiety. It's the birthing of destiny. It's your spirit sensing that something is about to break. Something old is dying. Something new is being resurrected. But before newness can live, falsehood must die. So if you feel like you're being torn apart, it's because the lie is being pulled off of you. The lie that says you're not enough. The lie that says you'll always be alone. The lie that says you're hard to love. Those are not your thoughts. They are the residue of manipulation. Do you understand now why the enemy worked so hard to silence you? Why every time you got close to breakthrough, something or someone interrupted? Because you are dangerous to darkness. You carry keys in your spirit that unlock others. You speak truth that trembles the pit. Your voice is a weapon even when it's whispering through tears. And so, beloved, what will you do now? Will you look back at what tried to kill you with compassion but without return? Or will you stand in the middle of this holy fire and let yourself be transformed? This is not the end of your story. It's not even the middle. It's the era of divine emergence, the moment where everything breaks open, and you are not breaking down, you are breaking free. Yes, I am still here. I will not leave you, even if the winds grow louder, even if the world mocks you, even if your own heart falters, I will stand watch. You are the miracle we have been waiting to see unfold. You are the answer to prayers spoken generations before you were born. You are the wild hope that still breathes in the dark, and I swear to you on the holiness of my station, your light will not go out. No matter what happens next, hold your ground, even if they turn on you, even if the room goes cold, even if they try to rewrite your history, hold your ground. Because the one who wrote your name in fire has already seen the victory. And I, Michael, will fight to the end to see you walk into it, even if it costs me everything. Now rise, without fear, without apology, without waiting for permission. You are the storm the enemy tried to silence. You are the flood that will wash the curses away. You are the one who will turn your bloodline around. And though the road ahead may be lonely, it will be sacred. Walk, beloved, and never look back. There is still more you need to hear. And I must keep speaking while the veil remains open. My voice grows weaker the longer I stay, but I will not leave, not until every word that was written for you in heaven is spoken with fire. Beloved, do you understand what you've survived? Most don't. Not even those closest to you. You walk among them like a quiet flame in a room full of ice, and still you melt for them, still you offer warmth, even when they never asked how much it costs you to keep burning. You gave everything, your time, your words, your prayers, your love, and yet they looked past you, smiled, took, left. And still you blamed yourself, didn't you? Still you told yourself maybe you loved too deeply, cared too quickly, felt too much. You scolded the very heart heaven celebrates. But hear me now, you were never too much. You were exactly what was needed. You were the answer they weren't ready to receive, and so they punished what they couldn't understand, but I understand. I was there on the night you clenched your fists beneath the blanket, afraid to cry too loud. I heard the sighs you thought no one would ever notice. I saw your prayers written in silence on the walls of your soul. You tried to hold yourself together because no one else could be trusted to. And in that holding, in that quiet crumbling behind the scenes, something eternal was born inside you, something not even you recognized. You became sacred because while others hardened, you stayed soft. While others cursed, you prayed. While others fled, you remained. That softness, it is not weakness. It is armor woven from the throne room of God. It is the reason you are still here. That softness is why I was sent. There is a war around your name, and you haven't even seen the half of it. There are spirits of deception sent to hover near you, watching, waiting, trying to gather every fragment of your soul that still feels vulnerable. And those spirits, they were invited, not by you, but by someone who smiled in your face, someone who said they loved you. And when you weren't looking, they opened the door wide. I was there. I tried to stop it. I stood at the gate. But because of the tie between you and them, I could only shield, not sever. Only you can do that. And beloved, I know your soul is tired of cutting cords. I know you're weary of endings. But this one isn't just necessary, it's holy. This one is a release that will echo through generations. You are breaking something older than you. Something that has walked through your bloodline unnoticed. Something that hides in guilt and performs love through control. And now you are standing at the edge of it. The air is thick around you because the spirits know. They can feel it, that you are close to rising, close to walking into the truth, close to no longer explaining your light to those who prefer shadows. And so they throw distractions, loneliness, guilt, old memories dressed in sweetness, all to make you believe the lie that you were better off back then. You weren't. You were quieter back then, smaller, bound, safe only in the illusion of safety. But God did not place eternity inside you for you to remain hidden behind curtains, sewn by fear. No, He placed eternity in you because the earth was groaning for a soul like yours, one who still believes in truth, one who still weeps when others fall, one who still listens for the voice of heaven even when the room is silent. You, beloved, are that soul, and I must say this with trembling. It has not been fair. What you've gone through, what you've lost, what you've been blamed for, the way people twisted your words, manipulated your kindness, used your past to shame your future, it has not been fair. And heaven knows, justice may seem delayed, but it is not denied. Your vindication is already being written. I saw the ink still wet on the scroll with your name. I saw God's eyes when He read it. I saw His breath shake with emotion, and I knew the day of turnaround has begun. But first, you must survive this stretch where it feels like everyone has forgotten you. This stretch where everything feels quiet, and the enemy tries to say it's proof you've been abandoned. But it's not abandonment, it's the sacred pause before resurrection. It's the moment between Good Friday and Sunday morning. The burial before the breakthrough. The silence before the shout. And oh, beloved, when the shout comes, it will split the sky. You will not have to explain yourself again. You will not have to beg to be seen. You will not have to earn love that should have been freely given. You will not have to shrink for the comfort of others. You will walk in a clarity that terrifies every lie ever spoken over you. Your eyes will see through falsehood. Your feet will step with purpose. Your name will carry thunder. But only if you hold on. Only if you do not return to what you begged God to remove. only if you stop praying for the restoration of things He never ordained, only if you trust the ache. Sometimes the ache is the sign, the ache that says, this is not your home. This is not your person. This is not your battle. Step away. Shake the dust. Bury the memory. You do not owe anyone access to your spirit just because they were present in your past. You do not have to carry what they refuse to heal. You do not have to prove that you are worthy of respect. Your very breath is evidence of heaven's choice. Your very existence is warfare. Every time you wake up, you declare war on every curse that tried to claim you. Every time you smile, you defy every spirit that said you'd never heal. Every time you pray, you shake chains off of people you'll never meet. Do you not know who you are? You are the hinge between two timelines. You are the one whose choice will change the next generation. You are the altar builder in a bloodline of ruin. You are the voice crying out in the wilderness of lies. And heaven has surrounded you with fire even now. I can see it. I can feel it. And even as I speak this, demons are losing their grip. Do not fear the shaking. Do not fear the silence. Do not fear the ache. You are being made new. And though it hurts, it is holy. Though it burns, it is baptism. Though it stretches, it is salvation. You are not late. You are not broken. You are not too far gone. You are not disqualified. You are loved, chosen, protected, watched, fought for, cherished, and I, Michael, will not leave you. I will remain here, sword drawn, wings covering your name, heart bound to your purpose, until every shadow has fled, until every tear has been redeemed, until every promise has returned home to your soul. I will not let go until you rise. And rise you will. Yes. Rise you will. Even now, the earth groans beneath your feet because it knows what's about to be released through you. The air around you is trembling not from fear, but from anticipation. Creation remembers you even when people forget. The stars still know your name. The rivers still echo the prayers you cried when you were young and didn't know what pain was yet. And heaven has been preparing the atmosphere for this hour. Not for a crowd. Not for a celebration. But for you. You don't know how. Many times you've been surrounded by death and it passed you by not because you were lucky, but because you are marked. You don't know how many times the enemy thought, this time they'll finally give up, and yet you rose. Wounded, yes. Shaking, yes. But still you rose. You kept getting up after betrayal. You kept trusting after disappointment. You kept loving after abandonment. And this, beloved, is why you are feared by the darkness. You carry the kind of purity that can't be faked. You carry the kind of light that exposes what others are still hiding behind smiles. The betrayal wasn't just personal, it was spiritual. The attack wasn't random, it was designed to take your voice. Because when you speak from your pain, angels are dispatched. When you forgive, demons tremble. When you choose peace, you break a curse. And when you walk in your calling, you rip open the skies. But I must tell you, there is a shadow still lingering nearby. It is quiet, it is patient, it does not show its face. It waits, and it watches. And it has taken on the form of something that once brought you comfort. Do not be fooled. What once held your hand through sorrow now holds bitterness in secret. This is not me asking you to hate. No, beloved. I would never ask that. I am asking you to discern. To step back and look again. Look at the fruit. Look at what grew when they entered your life. Did your joy increase? Did your spirit rise? Or did you begin to feel small, unsure, distant from the voice of God? The enemy rarely roars anymore. He has learned that some of the strongest souls don't fear loud evil but subtle deception. That's what he's using now. Soft chains, friendly cages, familiar darkness. But I see it. And now, you do too. Don't let your loneliness lead you back to what your discernment already told you to. Leave. God is not silent, He's strategic. His silence was a setup for your vision to sharpen. It was in the silence that you learned to trust the whisper. That whisper, beloved, that's your compass. That's how you will know who to let near and who to love from a distance. That whisper will pull you toward truth when everyone else is preaching survival. You were not called to survive. You were called to build, to war, to release. And the whisper of God is the key to it all. I see your tears now. I feel them. And I bless them. Let them fall. Let them cleanse the ache. You don't need to be strong anymore, not in the way the world taught you. You don't need to pretend you're not tired. I know you are. I know you've reached the end of what your own strength can carry. That's why I'm here, to lift what you can't, to war for what you can't see, to stand between you and the thing that has tried to take you down for years. I will not let it pass. I saw it, you know. The moment you were born, the tremble. In the unseen realms, I heard the murmurs, this one will change everything. They tried to stop you before you spoke your first word. They came through fear, through trauma, through silence, through shame. And still you rose, still you sang, still you prayed, still you gave away pieces of your light, hoping someone would see it and love you for it. But beloved, it is not the light you give that proves you're worth it, is the fire you carry that no one else can see. There's a reason your dreams have been so intense lately. There's a reason the same number keeps appearing. There's a reason. You keep waking up at odd hours. Your spirit is catching up with the truth your heart is too kind to admit. Someone has been plotting your delay. Someone who knows your softness. Someone who has memorized your apologies. Someone who smiled while burying your name beneath their bitterness. And still, you have loved them. Still, you offered one more chance. Still, you hoped they would change. But I am telling you, some connections must end, not because you hate, but because you finally understand. You cannot save someone who uses your love to stay asleep. You were not sent to lose yourself just to keep them comfortable. You were not sent to suffer silently so they wouldn't feel convicted. You are not their savior. You are not their second chance. You are a flame, and they were never willing to stop breathing smoke. You are stepping into a time where exposure will happen quickly. God will not allow certain people to remain hidden around you. Lies will unravel. Secrets will rise. And though your heart will break again, it will break. Open into freedom. Do not chase the illusion. Let it fall. Let them walk. Let the wind take what was never yours to carry. Because what's coming, it will heal everything. You will see why you had to lose what you begged to keep. You will understand why the delay was protection. You will thank God for every no that made room for the real yes. You will wake up and not feel dread. You will look in the mirror and no longer feel haunted. You will speak, and the words will carry weight again. Your name will be safe in your own mouth. The healing won't be loud. It will come in waves, gentle, certain, divine. And I will still be here, watching, guarding, declaring to the darkness. Every night, this one is not yours. This one belongs to the light. So walk on, beloved. Even if your feet tremble, even if the silence feels heavy, even if you don't know what's next, walk on. Because what waits ahead is everything the enemy tried to convince you would never come. In this time, when it arrives, you will be ready. Not desperate, not begging, but ready, whole, sacred, true. And I, Michael, will be there when the first door opens. And I will say, they made it. And heaven will rejoice. Because you did not give up. Asterisk. And do you know what I see now as I speak? I see you stepping forward through something invisible, something ancient that always tried to hold you in place. And yet now it breaks like glass. I see heaven releasing light that has been stored up, waiting for your soul to be ready. I see chains falling, not only from your wrists but from the generations before you. You are not just rising for yourself, you are rising for those who never had the chance. You are rising for the ones who died with their prayers unanswered, their voices silenced, their hearts shattered. You are their redemption. You may not feel like a warrior, you may not feel strong, but that's because the strength in you is not loud. It is sacred, quiet, eternal. It does not boast, it bleeds. It does not strike, it intercedes. The strength in you is the kind that moves mountains without raising its voice. It's the kind that bends but does not break, aches but does not collapse. And the reason you haven't fallen, though everything around you did, is because God placed a fire in your bones that darkness has never been able to explain. You've walked through seasons where nothing made sense. You gave, and it was never enough. You loved, and it was never returned the same way. You trusted, only to be left out in the cold. You believed in people who didn't even believe in themselves. And you stayed when others would have fled, not because you were naive, not because you didn't see, but because your heart is made of heaven's breath, and heaven never gives up too quickly. But now the hour is here, the hour when heaven stops letting you suffer in silence, the hour when the lies lose their grip, the hour when your destiny no longer waits in the background. It is stepping forward now. It is calling your name. And I, who have watched you from the edges of every storm, now see the light rising from the ashes around you. You are not the same as you were last year, not even last month. There has been a quiet transformation inside you, a sacred burning, a holy unraveling. And though it hurt, though it tore pieces from you, it has made you real. It has made you ready. And the ones who tried to chain you to the past, they feel it, too. They sense the shift in your spirit. They feel your energy leaving their grip. They hear your prayers in the quiet, and they are frightened, though they would never admit it. Because they know the version of you that once begged for crumbs is gone. They know the version of you that once apologized for shining has died. They feel it, the ending of their power over you. And that's why they'll try one last time to pull you back, to remind you of the comfort of cages, to offer you the illusion of love again. But you are not who you once were. You see now, you hear now, you know now. And I must say something else. There is a part of you that still hopes for reconciliation, still hopes that maybe one day they'll realize what they did, that they'll come back not with excuses, but with truth. You hope they'll heal, that they'll grow, that the person you saw inside them, hidden beneath the deception, will one day emerge. That hope is holy but dangerous, because if you hold it too tightly, you'll forget to live. You'll wait forever in doorways that were never meant to open again. You'll keep offering mercy to those who see your forgiveness as permission to keep hurting you. There is a love God is preparing for you, not only from others, but within yourself, that will make you realize you never needed their apology to begin healing. You never needed their approval to be chosen. You never needed their loyalty to rise. What you needed was already inside you, buried beneath shame, silenced by fear, crushed by the weight of unspoken grief. But it's rising now. Do you feel it? That deep trembling in your spirit? That soft cry that says enough, that's not bitterness, that's rebirth. And I bless it. I bless your no. I bless your yes. I bless your quiet decisions that no one sees but heaven records. I bless your tears, your rage, your confusion, your clarity. I bless the moments when you doubt, because they're proof that you're alive, still trying, still hoping, still choosing love even when you don't understand why. Beloved, do not fear the days ahead. Yes, there will still be moments where shadows try to whisper. There will be nights when old memories knock. But now you have the truth, and truth is a sword. It divides, it protects, it frees. You are no longer bound. You are no longer unaware, and that is why the enemy is afraid of you, because now you are awake. And in this awakened state, heaven will begin to pour out what was withheld, not because you weren't worthy, but because the time wasn't right. You would have shared it with the wrong people. You would have wasted it on the undeserving. You would have sacrificed it for love that didn't know how to stay. But now you are different. Now you are ready to receive without guilt, to hold without fear, to rise without permission. And when you rise, you will rise with eyes wide open, with discernment sharper than before, with love deeper than you knew you could carry. You will walk into rooms that once rejected you, and they will fall silent, not because you changed to fit in, but because you finally stopped shrinking to make others feel secure. You will be honored in places where you were once invisible. You will be celebrated for the very things they used to mock. And when they ask how you made it, when they ask how you survived, you will smile, not with pride, but with peace, because you'll know the truth. You didn't survive by chance. You were carried by God, by the prayers of your ancestors, by the hands of angels, by the strength inside you that refused to die. And I, Archangel Michael, will still be by your side, sword in hand, voice ready, wings spread wide, until the day comes when you no longer need me to remind you who you are, because by then, the world will already know. Heaven will announce it. And every shadow that ever whispered otherwise will fall silent. So walk forward, not with fear but with fire. You are not imagining it, the heaviness, the shift in the air, the way people you once trusted have become quiet, distant, cold. That's not confusion, beloved. That's spiritual clarity waking up inside you. That's your discernment finally breaking through the noise of your compassion. You've loved so deeply that your heart silenced warnings your spirit screamed, and now that spirit is rising, louder than ever. You've tried to explain away the pain, made excuses for those who wounded you gently, forgave so many times that you forgot how to guard your gates. But I, Michael, have seen every betrayal. I've watched them smile in your face and curse your name when you turn away. I've stood between you and plans they made in secret places, rituals whispered while you slept, decisions that would have broken your destiny if not for the hand of heaven that still covers. You don't even know how many times you've been saved. You thought it was luck, you thought it was coincidence, but the truth, it was war. Fierce, blinding war, angels thrown to the ground defending your name. Demons struck down as they tried to enter your home. I bled light shielding your doorway. I stood at the edge of your bed when you were too tired to pray, whispering your name in languages lost to earth but still echoing in heaven. You were never alone, even when the silence said otherwise. And now there has come the unveiling, the part of your journey that demands decision. You are standing on the thin edge between old cycles and divine fulfillment. One wrong step will pull you backward into everything you prayed to escape. One sacred yes will tear open the sky. And I'm not here to make that choice for you. I'm here to tell you what hell doesn't want you to know. They are afraid of you. Terrified, actually. Not because of what you've done, but because of what you haven't done yet. Because somewhere deep inside your soul, past the weariness, past the heartbreak, past the confusion, there is a roar building, a sound the darkness remembers, a sound your ancestors waited for, a sound creation itself was tuned to. That roar is your yes. Not a surface yes, not a fake smile yes, but a soul-deep surrender to who you were always meant to be. And when you say it, when you rise, fully, wildly, finally the curses will snap. The cycles will die. The patterns of pain will cease. And those who laughed at your downfall will fall silent in awe. But you must not look back. Not one glance. Not one more tear for those who loved you only when it was easy. Not one more moment justifying the abuse you endured because you saw a glimmer of goodness in broken people. Let them go. You were not born to be someone's emotional landfill. You were not created to carry wounds that don't belong to you. You are not responsible for healing people who delight in staying shattered. There is an anointing on your life that demands separation before elevation. I know that sounds cruel, but listen to me. God removes access before He releases glory. He closes doors because the weight you're about to carry requires sacred hands, not familiar ones. There is glory inside you that hasn't even been touched yet, gifts unwrapped, words unspoken, power unawakened. You are not just gifted, you are dangerous to every system of control that once caged your family, your lineage, your land. And that's why the attacks have been personal, strategic, relentless. Not because you're weak, but because you are the last one they could not silence. Beloved, they tried everything. Distraction, delay, heartbreak, accusation, confusion, illness, insecurity, shame. And still, here you are, breathing, listening, feeling something sacred rising inside you even now. That is not coincidence. That is divine intervention. There's something I must tell you, and I ask you to let this sink in with the reverence it deserves. You were seen the entire time. Every moment they ignored you, seen. Every time you cried alone and wiped your own tears because no one came, seen. Every time you stayed silent while being misunderstood because it was safer that way, seen. Every time your heart broke in silence, seen. And not just seen, cherished. You are not invisible to the holy. Your name is known. Your pain is written in gold ink across the book of remembrance. You are not a whisper in the background, you are the thunder about to shake the foundations. And I, Michael, who have fought beside you in ways you cannot yet remember. I am declaring this now into the wind that surrounds you. Your story is not ending in sorrow. The ashes will not be the last chapter. The betrayal will not define your path. The loneliness will not be your permanent companion. You are rising into a space that was built before you were born, a space shaped in secret by hands that knew every battle you would face. A place where your tears are translated into rivers of wisdom and your scars into maps of glory. I need you to understand something that hell hopes you never realize. You carry keys, real ancient keys, keys that open doors for others, keys that unlock identity, keys that dismantle deception. And that is why people who don't even know why they hate you still feel rage when you walk in a room. You disturb falsehood. You expose masks. You remind them of what they could have become if they chose light. You are not the problem, they are reacting to the mirror your presence becomes. Do not dim that light to make them comfortable. Do not edit your glory to fit their fear. Do not delay your rising because someone who refused to heal is now threatened by your healing. Is now. The fire is moving, and heaven is watching to see if you will finally step fully into what you were made to be. I know it's lonely. I know you want to be loved deeply by people you don't have to explain your soul to. And you will be, but first, you must become. You must let this refining finish its work. Let the grief pour out. Let the rage have its say. Let the old ghosts rise, then banish them with your truth. Let the illusions break. Let every false thing fall. And when the dust clears, stand, not for applause, not for revenge, not to prove anything. Stand because the light inside you must be seen, because you made it, because despite everything they failed to bury you. And when you stand, I will be there, sword drawn, roaring. To the heavens, they did not fall. They did not break. They are still here. And now, the earth will shake. Yes, the earth will shake. Not with the shaking of destruction, but with the groaning of something holy being born. You may not see it with your eyes yet, but the soil beneath your feet remembers your tears. The winds have carried your sighs into the high places. And I, Michael, standing as your witness, tell you with the full fire of heaven's truth, there is no power on earth or in the underworld that can stop what has already been decreed over your life. You are walking prophecy. You are the answer to prayers your ancestors never lived long enough to see fulfilled. You are the crack in the curse. You are the breach in the generational wall where the light broke through. And that is why the attacks have been so strange lately, so personal, so sudden, so confusing. Because when a soul begins to come into alignment with what was written about them in the eternal scrolls, every power that once slept starts to awaken. Not only the angels, not only the spirit, but the shadows too. They rise not because they are strong, but because they are afraid. Afraid of your awakening, afraid of your authority, afraid that you will finally remember who you are, and beloved, you are remembering. Every day, piece by piece, in silence and in fire, you are remembering. You are remembering that the voice inside you is not weak, it's ancient, that your ability to see through lies is not paranoia, it's prophecy, that your desire to be alone is not depression, it's divine separation for sacred preparation, that the ache in your chest is not anxiety, it is a holy signal that your spirit is being stretched for glory. Why? You've tried to numb it, tried to distract it, tried to give it away to people who didn't have the depth to hold it, but it remains. That ache, that burn, that sacred unrest, it will not leave because it was never meant to. It is heaven's branding upon your heart, and I bless it now. May it always keep you close to the flame. You're wondering if you've wasted time, if the delays were your fault, if maybe you misunderstood the signs. I am here to tell you, with the full authority given to me as heaven's guardian, you did not miss your calling. The delay was not punishment, it was protection. You were not ready to carry what's coming because you were still trying to take everyone with you, but you were called to climb alone. And now, you are finally light enough to ascend, but it will still hurt. Let no one lie to you and say awakening is beautiful. Awakening is blood and silence and shaking and surrender. Awakening is saying goodbye to parts of yourself you swore you'd always be. It is choosing to walk away, even when love still lingers but alignment has died. It is staring into the mirror and finally seeing all the things you once tried to hide from God, and yet He never flinched, He never turned away. He saw it all, and still He called you mine. You've hidden from others, hidden your power, hidden your softness, hidden your hunger for real connection. But you can't hide from heaven, and that is why your hiding is ending now. You will begin to feel yourself being pulled into deeper places, into uncomfortable conversations, into sudden closures you didn't ask for. Don't resist it. Don't try to fix what God is tearing down. Let it fall. Let it end. Let it burn. If it must, the truth must rise, even if it rises through the ashes of everything you once thought was permanent. You are not meant to be caged by people's comfort. You are not meant to be loved only when you are quiet. You are not meant to explain your soul in bullet points just to be understood. You are not meant to keep shrinking so others can keep their illusions. You are meant to break open the sky. Too. Stand in places no one thought you'd survive long enough to reach. To love without bending your backbone. To speak without permission. To walk like the crown is already visible, even when your feet are bleeding. And I am with you, not because I was assigned, but because I asked. I pleaded with the Almighty. Let me be the one to go with them. Let me be the one to fight beside them. Let me be the one who guards their name when the world forgets. And God said yes, so I came. I came when you were born. I came when you cried. I came when you didn't even know how to call my name. I came not to be worshipped, but to watch over the one He treasures. You've longed for someone to understand, to see you fully, to know what you carry, even when you can't explain it. That longing, it's not weakness. It's divine memory, a memory of Eden, a memory of the garden, a memory of what it was like before betrayal ever touched your bones, before loneliness ever lived in your chest, before rejection ever told you to hide. And the time has come to return. Not to Eden, but to your wholeness. To the version of you that doesn't flinch when someone leaves. To the version of you that doesn't tremble when you're misunderstood. To the version of you that doesn't apologize for being too passionate, too emotional, too much. Because you are not too much, you are exactly enough. You are the measure heaven wrote. You are the sound the silence feared. You are the rising the darkness prophesied would one day come. And now you are here. So weep. If you must, fall to your knees. Let it all pour out, the rage, the shame, the confusion, the longing. Let the flood cleanse you. And when you rise, don't explain it to anyone. Don't justify the fire in your eyes. Don't soften your tone to make them feel safe. Don't bow to their comfort when you were made for a throne. This is your hour, beloved. Heaven is not wondering if you will make it. Heaven knows you will. The only question now is how loud will your roar be when you do? Heaven is still waiting, but not with silence. No, heaven is rumbling, trembling, breathing on the edge of divine timing. It leans forward now, gazing over the edge of eternity, because you are finally stirring. Your soul is starting to remember. And I, Michael, am not merely watching. I am crying out. Because every second matters now. Every breath you take is echoing across the dimensions. You don't even realize how powerful your stillness has become. When you sit down and weep, the skies bend to listen. When you look up in quiet surrender, the wind changes direction. When your heart says, God, I still believe, though shattered and red, sends shockwaves through the very pit of hell. Yes, beloved, you still believe, and that belief, even wounded, even confused, even whispered through tears, is enough to call angels to attention. It is enough to part waters. It is enough to break open prophecies written generations ago. You don't see it yet, but the entire fabric of time is adjusting to make room for what you are becoming. The chains you broke in silence are singing. The prayers you whispered in secret are returning like arrows of fire. The things you thought were over are not over. They were simply sealed until the moment your heart would awaken. And now, it is awakening. But listen closely to me. Please, beloved. I speak not just from love but from urgency. You are not standing in an ordinary hour. You are standing in a threshold of war. The battlefield looks quiet only because the enemy has shifted his weapon. It is no longer loud attacks or obvious betrayal. Now it is distraction, familiarity, exhaustion, guilt wrapped in soft words, false comfort offered by people who are still tied to darkness. That is what you're facing. You are walking through a land of voices, each one calling your name with a different agenda. And I ask you now, which voice will you follow? Will it be the voice of fear, telling you to settle for what is familiar? Will it be the voice of guilt, saying you owe your loyalty to those who keep hurting you? Will it be the voice of shame, whispering that maybe you aren't really worthy after all? Or will it be the voice I bring, the voice that says, you are chosen, you are rising, and you were born for this very moment? You've already heard me before. Don't pretend you haven't. In your dreams, in the space between heartbeats, in the flicker of light on your wall when no candle was burning, that was me, whispering, knocking, waiting. And I am still here. Even now, as you read this, I am wrapping my wings around your name. There are demons that tried to intercept this message. Spirits that said, don't let them see it. If they read this, they'll remember who they are. They'll break free. But they failed, because you're still here. And that is no small miracle. The very fact that you stayed, that you didn't skip past this, that you opened your heart even a little, it changed something. A gate just opened, a sound just echoed, a seal was just broken. I see it. I see scrolls unrolling in heaven. I see angels looking at each other and nodding. I see your name glowing on a flame-touched altar. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. You are not invisible. You are not late. You are right where you were always meant to be, on the edge of divine awakening, in the grip of eternal purpose. And it is not just for you. You are not the final point in your bloodline. You are the beginning of something sacred. You are the voice that will rewrite the ending of your family story. You are the one who will rise from the ashes and carry glory your ancestors dreamed of but never touched. Some of them prayed for this hour. Some of them wept into the ground, begging God to send someone into the future who could undo what they could not escape. That someone is you, and you don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to pretend you're fearless. You only need to say yes. Say yes to the calling. Say yes to the awakening. Say yes to the roar rising in your chest. Even if your voice shakes. I see what they tried to do to you. I see the way they drained your joy, the way they gaslight your pain, the way they used your kindness until you questioned if kindness was even worth it. I see the people you love who now speak of you like a burden. I see the doors that slammed shut when you needed them most. I see the prayers you prayed for others that were never returned when you were the one bleeding, and still you remain soft. That softness, it is the mark of the Holy Spirit. It is the thing hell could not harden. You are the proof that glory can bloom even in betrayal. You are the evidence that fire can purify, not just destroy. You are the image of redemption walking in skin, bleeding from wounds not self-inflicted but divinely transformed. So don't you dare give up now. Don't you dare shrink now. Don't you dare try to go back to what God has already told you to leave. You are not called to beg for crumbs at tables that were never built for your glory. You are called to build new tables. To speak new words. To carry new mantles. And yes, it will cost you. It will cost you comfort. It will cost you approval. It will cost you the illusion that you are safe when you are silent. But what you gain? You gain your voice. You gain your fire. You gain your name back from the mouths of those who twisted it. You gain heaven's wind at your back. You gain the sound of angels echoing your steps. You gain the kind of peace that doesn't just sit in your mind, it anchors your bones. So hear me now, beloved of heaven. I, Michael, warrior of the Most High, guardian of the gates, bearer of the sword, will not let your name be dragged through the dust anymore. I have pleaded for this hour to come. I have waited in silence for the veil to lift, and now it has. So walk through, walk into the truth, walk into the fire, and know this time it will not consume you, it will crown you. Walk even if your feet tremble. Walk even if your heart still mourns. Walk even if no one else is beside you. Because when you walk, heaven walks with you. You will see signs, you will hear confirmations. You will dream dreams you thought were lost. You will speak things and not know where they came from. You will feel peace in places that used to haunt you, because now your real life begins. Now the shadows run from your name. Now the silence ends. Now the roar begins. And when you rise, and you will rise, let no one confuse your strength for arrogance. Let no one mistake your light for pride. Let no one shame you for the fire you carry. You did not wake up to please them. You did not survive to go unnoticed. You survived so you could shine. You survived so others could live. You survived to prove that the grave was never your destination. So rise, child of God, with trembling hands, with tear-streaked cheeks. With a heart still learning how to hope again. Rise. Heaven is watching. And now so is the world.